Hey Jackie, Auntie, Jackie, you ready? When the clouds roll.
Whew. Understanding, embracing our abilities, it has the power to unlock a life filled with living bold, fulfilled, and free. And as we begin to recognize what we truly are capable of, oh my world, it can give us the confidence to step out of our comfort zone and begin to take bold actions. And this, oh my world, it leads to growth. And as we begin to align our actions with our strengths, we begin to find deeper fulfillment in a sense of purpose. So I encourage you, as you begin to embrace your abilities, it also frees you from self doubt, empowering you to overcome the obstacles and live life authentically and true to who you are. So, as we begin to continue this discussion on the power of accepting and embracing our abilities. Ability. Ability is a word that we've heard and we are very familiar with. Well, about a few days ago, I was having a conversation with someone, and we were talking about a project that we were working on together. And she asked me the question, what did I want the people to walk away with? And my response was, I wanted them to walk away with having the ability to know that life could be different. Wherever they were, whatever their experience, it doesn't define who they are and where they can go. And we begin to really focus on that word ability. And I said, well, what if we kind of do an acronym of it? And, we played back and forth. And I said, well, I'll work on it and I'll get back with you. And again, I just stuck with the word. And this is what I came up with. I was, thinking about in life, we have many experiences and many opportunities. And in those opportunities, we also have an opportunity to exercise the word ability. We have the opportunity to have the ability to acknowledge authenticity. We have the ability to better, believe for better. We have the opportunity to inhale imagination. We have the opportunity to love life. We have the opportunity to invite intentionality. We also have the opportunity to turn our trials into triumphs. And last, we have the opportunity to say yes to you. And I shared that with her, and we were getting excited and talking about ability. And you often heard it said that, we are responsible for our healing. In life, we experience many things, and, you've heard it said that no one's coming back to rescue you, no one's coming back to save you, no one's coming back to do any of those things. So our healing is our responsibility. And again, also, if you've been following me, you've heard me talk about that I had these cards that I use to help me during my journey. Well, today I decided to pull out these cards. Now, if you could see this key ring, as you could see, these cards are old. Some of the plastic is sort of coming off, and some of them I can barely see the words on them. But I wanted to share some of the tools that I use for myself during my healing journey with the hopes that it would help empower you. Now, one of the things, one of the cards it says, you are your greatest resource. And that's really good to know. A lot of times we feel like we have to go outside of ourselves, but I want to remind you today that you are your greatest resource. So think about influence and not position. Think about expand your circle of acquaintances. Don't pretend you're perfect. Be flexible to avoid getting bent out of shape. Well, that's really good. Plan tomorrow's work today. Successful people fail. We all know that, yet never see themselves as failures. Every decision involves some risk. Superficial goals leads to superficial results. So again, this is one of the flashcards that I use to remind myself that I am my greatest resources. On this card, I also have scriptures on here. Let's see if I can find one. This one says, life is a series of events. Stage your events, know your audience, set the tone, consider the cost, get help, and organize. Oh my word, when we think about life and we experience many things and we have the choice to know who we can go to, know who we can trust, know who we can pull in closer, know who we can call on when we need certain things. Because when we talk about relationships, everyone doesn't provide all things. So we have some people in our lives that we go to when we want to have fun and we want to relax and we want to just kind of kick back. Then we have others we go to when we know we really serious and we need some counsel and some wisdom. Then we have other people we may go to when we want to be adventurous. We have those friends that are adventurous. They don't mind taking risks and doing things. We have friends that we may go to when we want to know how to handle situations with our children. We have friends that we may talk to when we want to deal with relationships when it comes to our spouse. So, again, we have different people in our lives that bring different things into our lives. And hopefully we do the same to the people that in our lives. We bring different things also into their lives. Then there's one card, it talks about Mark 11:24. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you receive it and it will be yours. So just being reminded, we're asking God to empower us, to equip us, to begin to whatever that thing that you find that you're needing in your life. You can go to our Heavenly Father in prayer and you can ask Him. And the key is believing that He is capable of answering that prayer. And as you believe it, you receive it, and it can be yours. So again, as you can see, these cards, all kinds of things on here. One of my favorite scriptures is Romans 8:28. And it says, and we know that all things God works together for good to those that love Him and are the called according to His purpose. And I want you to know whether you have a relationship with Him or whether you don't, God does love you and He does have a purpose and a plan for your life. Wow, these cards have just been so instrumental. This one I really like a lot too. Let me see, I'm just flipping. I kind of changed up from that one. Let's see, let's give you one more so that you can see how, when we create tools that will help us. This one is John 14:27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. Do not give it I do not give it to you as the world gives. Do not set your hearts, be troubled, and do not be afraid. Do not see, the words are so old, I can't even see them good. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. So I want that to come out clear. I'm gonna read it again. It's John 14:27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give it to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. So these are just some of the tools that I use along my journey to begin to heal and to begin to recognize all the amazing things that are inside of me. I would love to hear what things that you're using on your journey. What are you doing? What tools do you have in place to help you navigate the various seasons in life? Because as we know, we experience many, many things. And it's always good when we can have some tools in place to help us to get from point A to point B. So I just want to remind you and let you know, you have the ability to bring about any change that you desire in your life. You have the ability to transform your trials into triumph. You have the ability to walk in your true, authentic self. You have the ability to begin to imagine and dream big. I mean, real big, 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 big. You have that ability. You have that ability to invite intentionality into your life. You have the ability to decide and to choose of the various areas in your life that you're going to be intentional about. You have the ability to choose and decide that I'm going to be intentional about my peace. I'm going to be intentional about my emotional well being. I'm going to be intentional about my health. I'm going to be intentional about my relationships. I'm going to be intentional about my finances. There are so many things in our life. So, whatever that thing is that's important to you, you have the opportunity to invite intentionality into that situation. You also have the ability to love life in spite of all of its ebbs and flows and everything that comes and goes in our life. We also have the ability to choose to love life and be grateful and excited about all the amazing things that come into our life and all of the opportunities that we have in our life. Yes, sometimes we do have some bad days and some not so good days. But sometimes when we take a moment and reflect, and sometimes if we're real, our good days, they far, far, far outweigh our bad days. We have the ability to, at the end of the day, to believe for better. We have the ability to choose that where I am today is not where I have to be tomorrow. I don't even have to be in that same place the next minute, the next second. At any given moment, when I choose to make a difference or when I choose to say, I believe better, I begin to open up better in my life. And finally, you have the ability to say yes to you. Whatever that looks like for you, whatever that means for you, you have the ability to say yes. You have the ability to transform your life in any area that you desire. So now you could see that word ability, when I begin to sit in all of this, it began to take on a whole new meaning for me. I begin to say, wow, I never really thought about that word in that way. How often do we have words and we just hear them so often that we don't even give it another thought? But sometimes it's good to just take a moment and think about some of those power words, those powerful words, and begin to see the difference they can make even in our own lives. So I'm going to end with reminding you again that you have the ability to do exceedingly and abundantly above anything that you can even imagine or think. And if you happen to be someone who have the Heavenly Father in your life, oh my world, there's no lid, there's no ceiling how far you can go. There's no limit in the abilities that you have and things that you can accomplish and the changes that you can make to help you be and do the very things that you desire to do in your life. So in closing, I want you to remember you have the ability to be your own BFF, to live bold, fulfilled, and free. Until next time, take care.